Guys, welcome to MyGuy Reviews review of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. James Gunn is back. The team is back. Peter Quill, aka Chris Pratt. Gamora, played by Zoe Saldana. We've got Drax, played by Dave Bautista. Rocket, voiced by Bradley Cooper. And Baby Groot, as voiced by Vin Diesel. The team is back, but also introducing the amazing Kurt Russell is here. Yes, and so is Sylvester Stallone. That's right, Tango and Cash 2. This is what this is. This is the ultimate. Now, it's difficult to kind of go straight off the bat. There'll be some spoilers in the movie, but the first one was so fresh, so original, something we'd never seen before. It was a space opera. It was like the Star Wars of a new generation. It was an intergalactical masterpiece, let's say. Hilarious from start to finish. Visuals were stunning, and it was just something refreshing, a lot refreshing, something we hadn't seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. As Phase 2 went, this was the best movie there, on par with, of course, Winter Soldier. We'd have some good films up until then, but these two really raised the bar. And how difficult would it be to kind of top this movie? Well, James Gunn's back, the crew is back, and now we've got a huge story. We've got loads more things going on. We pretty much pick up months after kind of like the old Guardians of the Galaxy. The heroes are now kind of heroes for hire, working on missions, and you know, they just basically, they are hilarious. There are loads and stuff going on, and you know, these guys are there. Things quickly go kind of haywire, as they always do, and Rocket steals some items that the Guardians were supposed to be protecting, and the team goes on top of Soren's to kill list for citing the golden genetically advanced race. Now, this is where the film takes place. Of course, Rocket has been Rocket from the first, so we've known that. We're invested with the characters. We believe that's the kind of thing he would do. He's still Rocket. He's doing what he's doing. But as the film kind of progresses, it's still funny. It's still like the original. We got loads of laughs. The visuals are amazing. James Gunn and the crew seem like they're having so much fun, and that's key in this film. But this film is more about family. The big theme of this movie is all about family. Underlining, we've got Kurt Russell, who plays Ego, who is Star-Lord's dad, Peter Quill's dad, and the whole element of family is there. Then we've also got Gamora, and we've got her sister there as well. Even though they're not blood sisters, yeah, I get all of that, but it's all about bringing them together, having that family kind of connection again. And of course, we've got the whole Guardians as a whole. We've got Baby Groot. Someone needs to look after that boy. You got older brother, uncle, if you want to call him. You got in Rocket, and of course you got Dave Bautista as well, Drax. So the whole family kind of plot is still there. The theme is still there from the first one, but it actually kind of like we drilled home a bit more. Now, before we go any further, the music, again, amazing, on par. We love the music. Now, the music in the first one is phenomenal. Volume 1, Volume 2, again, incredible. Love the music. James Gunn just knocks it out of the park both times. Of course, now we are joined by Yondu and Nebula. Nebula being the sister of Zoe Saldana's character, and of course we've got Yondu, who was there with the arrow. A big spoiler to come up a bit later on, which I'll go into in a bit of details. And as we know, we learn a lot more about why Nebula has so much hatred for Gamora and what actually went on with their childhood with Thanos. And there's more insight given into Drax's relationship with his kind of flashback with his family as well. While Peter Quill's kind of like he's a big vocal point, but there's a lot of time spent exploring how Rocket's creation caused major kind of trust issues as well in the thing. And this is great, because this is what we want to see. We also get an explanation where Yondu comes from, and as the team kind of grapples with conflicts that they have in personal demons. But it's great to see everyone's character gets fleshed out even nicely. Like in the first one, they're put together in the whole ramble team, but now we get a lot more fleshed out. The team looks good. We really understand it, and we know why Thanos is involved and the rest of the team and what's going on. It's a good balance, but there's a lot of characters and there's a lot of service you need to do, and this is where kind of like the film, I won't say fall flat, but it's just, it has to service a lot. So there's a lot going on for it, right? And there's a lot of moving parts because of that. And you can almost lose track of one or two of the stories if you wanted to, because you almost knock out and you're like, okay, but it needs to be there. There's a reason for that. And in the third act, it's kind of no, the third act was great, to be fair. Let's be honest. The first two were good. Third was great. So we kind of get into huge parts of the film where we get a lot of the character fleshing out. We get to see why each character is the way it is. And the best thing about Volume 2 is that we already know these members, the team members, briefly, but now we get to kind of see their rooting. We see what their relationships, see how they're kind of like, Peter Quill longs for his dad, and he's kind of like envious, but we have Baby Groot in there as well, and he's kind of like he's joked about and doesn't go over to stuff that he keeps saying, still goes over Drax's head, which is still hilarious from the first film. We have the emotional growth of Gamora and Nebula happening together, these two sisters. Their relationship is amazing, and it's really fleshed out in this film, and it's incredible that they did that, and it's worthwhile. And yeah, they have a tragic backstory as well, like Rockets, and that's kind of explored as well. But all of that is great. The team chemistry is amazing, even though you got such a big team this time around. There's a lot going on. It kind of like leans. There's a lot of love between the team, and again, the friendship and the family element comes into all of this that we got from the first movie. And that being said, Guardians itself, it's another amazing space opera science fiction film. Now there is a big Marvel spoiler alert. There is a big death in Yondu's man, I dropped some arrows for that, man. Yondu's passing happens, and obviously there's going to be a new owner of that amazing arrow. But yeah, all of that happens, and it's ultimately kind of pushing the story forward. You kind of need you do need to kind of trim some of the fat as well in the story. And there's a massive, almost incomprehensible sequence, that's basically in all superhero movies, but again here it's brilliant. And this is one of the kind of most emotional conclusions to a Marvel kind of movie, I want to say, because it was really good, because we care about all these characters, because they've been fleshed out. The stakes are now real. There's a whole, it's a great little kind of like nod to it all. And after keeping everyone apart for most of the film, the reunion and it's reaffirmed, and the affection for each other it's great, and we kind of like that a lot. And the common criticism about kind of like the villains has always been one note: they lack the stakes in the film. But this is one of the best villains that we've had in the Marvel Cinematic Universe film in a long time, and it's great to see that. So overall, let's kind of like get down to the verdict. So what is it? Well, Guardians of the Galaxy is great. It's great fun. It's amazing to see the characters come back to life. It's far more denser. Everything's kind of like spread out. We get more depth in everything. And, the story's a bit problematic because there's a lot going on, but still enjoyable movie, especially because all the characters all come back together nicely in the end. And it's kind of an impactful ending to the movie as well, which is great. And Volume 2 does a good job in developing those characters, their growth, the story, the family element throughout, which is kind of like dug into there, kind of thrown in at all times, which is kind of like it's not been an issue. But again, the biggest thing that this one has, it doesn't have like that throwaway villain at the end. This is a proper villain, and this is an amazing movie. I'd say go out and watch it. I've done another review. I'm going to do the post-credit breakdown, because there's not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 post-credit sequences. But yeah, James Gunn has done an amazing job again. It's fun, adventure. We've got the characters we love. Everything's on here. I give this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Go out, watch this film, enjoy it. It's great in 3D as well, because the immense world comes together. Yeah, tell me what you think. Hit the big subscribe button, hit like, hit me up with your comments below. Would you watch Guardians? Are you psyched for Volume 3? Infinity Wars, the crew is on board. Because as we find out with the story with Thanos, Drax, the rest of them, they're all already on board to kill Thanos. So this is it. This is kind of like the stepping stone. This time next year, Infinity Wars is coming. We are psyched.